Going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka New York Prepper. I just wanted to do a video about the Montana snowstorm that happened last night. Um, there was
Well, here's to
there was 3 to 4 feet of snow that fell across different parts of Montana. You can see here the governor declared a winter storm emergency, which is I guess it's like a state of emergency. Um, you know, which increases coordination between the state and local authorities as far as dealing with the storm and cleaning up and everything like that. Um, but basically, there was 3 feet of heavy, wet snow. Here's a picture of Helena, Montana. Um, see if I can zoom in for you guys here. You can see that it's basically, the trees are still green. So there was 3 to 4 feet of snow, and they say this is a record. There hasn't been a storm like this in Montana since 1934. So it says here it was a record set back in 1934. That was a 3-day record of over 13 inches of snow. This storm basically destroyed that old record because that was much less snow. This was over 3 feet of snow in the end of September. So just think about that, guys. For Montana, I mean, it does get cold there, but they say that this much snow is unusual. And it says here, hunker down, stay warm, and avoid travel. I think that's what the governor said. But I did a video about winter storm preparedness and being prepared for the winter. I did a video about that last week, and this basically reinforces that. Basically, you want to make sure you have all the proper gear that you need, in case there's a really bad snowstorm in your area, depending on what part of the country you live in. You want to make sure you have blankets.
19 cup holders.
You want to make sure you have blankets. I keep 2 wool blankets. I keep military sleeping bags. I keep glow sticks. I keep hand warmers, winter gear, winter clothing gear, snowshoes, wool socks. I have all my winter gear ready. So if there's a snowstorm or some type of situation, I'm prepared. If I have to hunker down and stay warm, if I lose power in the middle of a snowstorm and it's cold outside, you have to make sure that you have the proper gear to keep you warm during that time. Because if, let's say, there's a blizzard and the power goes out, the roads may be blocked with a foot or two of snow. It's not going to be easy for you to just drive down the street and crash at your family's house somewhere and go somewhere else where it's warm, someone's house that has power. It's not going to work that way. Or it may take some time for you to turn your generator on, or if you don't have a generator, then you should definitely consider keeping some type of sleeping bags, some type of heaters, wool blankets, things like that. So if you have to shelter in your home and stay warm during a storm, you can do that. So let's just look at the forecast here. Looks like there's still some warnings up in Montana. There's still a blizzard. So even here, National Weather Service is saying, have an emergency kit, slow down, leave plenty of space, keep flashlight handy. Know if you have a space heater, know how to use it safely. That's another thing you can do, is you can get a space heater. That's basically one that uses propane. The Mr. Buddy portable heater is a good one. That's the one that I have, and that can be used to heat like small spaces, like a room, or smaller areas. So we have a civil emergency message. Let's see what that is. Here we go. As of 11:30 a.m. on Sunday, roads are dangerous and request limited travel to emergency vehicles only. Okay. Let's see what else. We got the blizzard here, blizzard warning. Let's see what that says. And a lot of these areas are not heavily populated. So luckily it shouldn't be too bad, hopefully. It says additional snow accumulation of 2 to 6 inches, winds gusting as high as 45 miles per hour. So there's definitely going to be a lot of power outages there. So I hope that, if there's anybody in Montana watching this, I hope you guys are safe, and I hope you have all the necessary gear that you need to, weather the storm and stay warm. Sleeping bags, space heater, blankets. But, I wanted to talk to you guys about this storm a little bit, and I wanted to discuss the possibility that, this winter may be a strong winter. I think it's going to be stronger than last year. It seems that way so far. We've already had a few cold nights here in New York. We had a couple of nights where it was like in the upper 30s. That was like last week. So that's pretty unusual for, mid-September. I think that this winter is going to be, stronger than usual. And, the evidence shows that, we may be going into a La Nina pattern this winter, which favors, colder and snowier winters, particularly in the northern tier, the northeast United States. The La Nina pattern favors outbreaks of Arctic air into the lower 48 states. And stronger vortexes, polar vortexes. I think this winter is going to be stronger than last year. I think there's going to be more snowstorms. This is historic in Montana. They've already had 3 or 4 feet. They obliterated the old record. So I hope you guys are ready for this winter. I hope you have everything you need. I think another thing that's important is having proper boots and even snowshoes. If you have to, walk in deep snow, if you don't have proper footwear, you're gonna be uncomfortable, to put it, in the nicest way. And even snowshoes may be handy too if it's a really bad snowstorm and you have to, get out of your house for whatever reason, or you have to walk. Snowshoes are really helpful to have during any kind of deep snow. And then you can also get like micro spikes and things like that to increase traction on your boots. But starting off with a good pair of boots is probably the first thing. They should be waterproof and breathable and insulated. So let's see what other articles they have here. Montana slammed with over a foot of snow. Let's see here. Let's see what this one says here. Whoops.
Now to extreme weather. Montana getting slammed with more than a foot of snow. Gusty winds knocking down trees and power lines. Several more feet of snow is expected, potentially creating life-threatening situations.
It's a very short video. See if there's any more. Looks like there were some trees that were toppled. Let's see some of these pictures here. Looks like a Twitter. Wow, looks like some trees were blown down. So that's definitely, not good. This looks like Facebook. yeah, so um, a lot of winter storms can be very windy too. So make sure you guys are, prepared for the power to go out this winter. If there's a big blizzard in your area. I live in New York, as a lot of you guys probably know by now. So, we get nor'easters and pretty bad blizzards. In the winter time, we can have blizzards that'll dump like, you know, up to 3 feet of snow in a 24-hour period with, hurricane force winds sometimes. So it's potentially very dangerous, because you have the combination of the deep snow plus, the cold air that comes in after the storm, and then, also the wind. The wind knocks out a lot of trees, blows the trees down. So, you want to make sure that you can stay warm if your power goes out and you're in a storm, and you're stranded at home and you can't get out because the roads are buried in snow. Like I said, sleeping bags, wool blankets, space heaters, generator would be great, obviously. Um, and then, footwear and clothing is essential if you have to go outside and clear the snow, or walk outside for whatever reason. You need to have proper footwear and proper clothing. Um, so here it says that the homeless shelters in the city were relaxing their entrance policies. That's in Spokane. They only had 2 inches so far. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about this winter? You think it's going to be a bad winter? I have a feeling it's going to be bad, and I'm also a believer in the solar cycle, and the effects of the solar cycle on our weather. If you guys ever have a chance, you can do some research on sunspot activity, and solar cycles and their effect on the climate. Um, one of the best examples is the Maunder minimum, which was they call it the Little Ice Age. That occurred in like the 1400s through 1600s, where there was a global temperature drop, significant temperature drop in that time period, and they say that during that time the sunspot activity was really weak. So um, potentially that could have had some effect on the climate. Um, and we're actually in a solar minimum right now, that we just entered recently. So if you guys don't know, the solar cycles, they go up and down every 12, I think it's like every 10 years to 15 years. The sunspot activity basically peaks, and then it goes down to what they call a minimum, and then the minimum, and then the new cycle starts and it goes up to a maximum, and then it goes back down to another minimum, and then it goes up again. And that's the solar cycle, and those cycles typically occur over a 10-year period. And it's well documented and well known. So, but actually, we just entered into a minimum. But sometimes there's what they call grand minimums, which is what happened during the Maunder minimum. It's basically when, instead of that cycle pattern that the sun has, it doesn't ever come back up to the maximum. It basically stays at a minimum level of solar activity, and potentially some people think that could, cause the climate to cool because there's less radiation from the sun. And so that's something to keep an eye on and keep in the back of your head, especially because we're entering a grand minimum right now. And they're anticipating that the next solar cycle will be really weak or non-existent. It's possible that over the next few years the winters are just going to get stronger and stronger, and more brutal, more big blizzards. I mean, we've already seen a lot of big blizzards, and so that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care, God bless, and take care.